Hello again. It's time for Tiger Talk here on ECTV. Join us as we talk Fort Hays State football with head coach Chris Brown. Hello again and welcome into another edition of Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State football. Tigers coming off the victory over Lindenwood. Great homecoming crowd, great homecoming weather, and a great homecoming win. 37-6. They knock off the Lions to go to 4-1. Fort Hays State now getting set for a couple of road games starting on Saturday. Big one at Pittsburg State. The Gorillas, like the Tigers, receiving votes in the Division II National Poll. Also 4-1 coming off a big victory in Topeka against Washburn. So another big showdown between the Tigers and the Gorillas. We'll talk all about it. We'll review the game with Lindenwood. Take a look ahead at Pittsburg State when head coach Chris Brown joins us right after the break. Tiger Talk, of course, presented once again by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers and by Mocha's Coffee, Bakery, and Bistro at 27th and Indian Trail in Hays. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, head coach Chris Brown will join us right here on Tiger Talk.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
Hello again and welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head coach Chris Brown. Fort Hays State coming off a big homecoming win over Lindenwood. The program brought to you again by Mocha's Coffee, Bakery and Bistro, and of course Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, where you can experience delicious cook-to-order food and the rich and creamy frozen custard churned fresh throughout the day at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hays. It's the taste that brings you back. Fort Hays State 37-6 winners over Lindenwood on Saturday. Boy, great weather all weekend for homecoming. And I guess from your perspective, a win, and a great win at that. And that's kind of what your challenge was for your team. You're here to win a football game on Saturday, and they did just that.
It is, and the homecoming always makes you a little bit nervous, with Oktoberfest, homecoming, all the different festivities going on, the parade, a lot of people on campus, a lot of alumni, and our kids handled it well. Our one goal was just to go win this ball game. That's what we had to focus on, was win this ball game. And I thought, we played pretty well in all phases of our game, offensively, defensively, and special teams-wise. But proud of our kids, the way they performed, and they found a way to get another W.
4 straight possessions in that first half you scored, and that was key against a Lindenwood team that had kind of been struggling. Probably felt they should have had at least 1 or 2 more wins, but you just kept the pressure on and kept going with those 4 scores and 4 straight possessions.
It is, it's probably a good thing that we scored, early, in that game, because, there's second, third quarters kind of a lull offensively, but, we found a way to keep ourselves in the game. We scored points early, made some big plays early as well. Thought all of our running backs did a very good job. Jake did a very good job as well of managing the game, and I thought defensively, we did a good job of shutting them down and get some really good pressure on their quarterback. So proud of our kids and the way they performed. Now we just got to continue to get better. Hopefully they're not satisfied with where they're at right now and want to improve each week to make themselves a better football player.
Other than the one play, the big 80-yard touchdown pass, obviously played well enough to pitch a shutout defensively. That had to be one of your better efforts.
It was. We did a good job of pursuing to the ball. I thought we played very physical. Got a lot of hits on the quarterback. Kind of really got them out of their rhythm. I think they used 2 more, maybe 3. I don't know how many quarterbacks they really used, but our guys did a good job. The one big pass play, Dunnigan takes all the blame for it. He should have seen it sooner. Didn't see it soon enough, but still, we just need to go make a tackle there instead of trying to knock the ball out with DeAndre in that situation. And who knows, Maybe they just have to kick a field goal, or we keep them out of the end zone. But our kids performed very, very well in that game.
And one thing that really stands out about you defensively, that was the one big play. You have not given up a lot of big plays. I know that's kind of the philosophy, the bend but don't break, but this team has really so far done a pretty good job of that.
They have, we had a few against Central Missouri and really not much after that. And then, there might be one big bust a game. If we could ever just eliminate that one big bust, who knows how good this team could be. But, we just got to make sure that they keep everything in front and make teams, earn everything that they get. But I think our guys are, playing well enough now they're starting to figure those things out, and, we're getting better each week.
477 yards of offense, 2 yards better than the Central Oklahoma game. It was your best offensive effort. You kind of mentioned second and third quarter, kind of a lull in there, but for the most part, had a good day offensively.
They did. There wasn't a lot of 3 and outs. They get a couple first downs, and we'd have to pump, but they managed the clock well. Time of possession was very good on our side as well. But I'm just proud of the way our guys played. They did enough to win. Just wish we could find ways to put people away early instead of hanging around till the third or fourth quarter, because we'd really like to get some of those younger guys in and get them some experience playing on the football field as well. But they did the things they needed to do to win, and just got to continue to get better.
Jacob Mazzara, 27 for 35, threw for 292 yards, couple of TD passes, and another game without an interception.
Yeah, he needs to continue to do what he's doing. He's not really forcing anything. He's making his reads and getting his throws. The O-line's protecting him very well and giving him some time. There's still some situations in there I wish he would just quit holding it for so long and just go scramble, but that's who he is. He wants to complete the pass. He doesn't want to take off running, but with maturity and growth and him being in our program, he'll learn those things. But very proud of the way he's really developed into a great, our quarterback, and making this team better, and our kids really believe in what he's doing.
You have sacked 3 times, and sometimes you can say, well, the offensive line maybe gave those up. Sometimes it might be the quarterback. And your pass, he's a little bit different. He's not like Travion, who's going to take it and run, and you're not going to get many sacks. So sometimes that number can be a little bit misleading.
It is. He's a kid that when he's in the pocket, he feels the pressure around him, but it doesn't really seem to faze him. If I'm in the pocket, I'm feeling pressure. I'm getting out because I don't want to get hit, but it doesn't seem to bother him. He just wants to sit there and complete that pass. He's going to hang in there as long as he can until the receivers get open. But eventually, he's got to learn. Okay, there's a time that I need to get out and buy some time and make things happen. And that'll come with time. He had a little scare there. I think it was in the third quarter, but yeah. He's fine from that. But he's learning each week. He's getting better each week, and who knows how good this kid can really be, towards the end of his career.
Ask about the offensive line. It's been a makeshift unit really all year. I don't think you've had the same starting lineup in any game this season. You had a true freshman in Brandon Gonzalez getting his first start. It appeared that they did a pretty decent job. We mentioned the 3 sacks that were allowed, but by and large, seemed like they had a pretty good game.
They did have a good game. Brandon played very well for his first outing. He's actually going to be our offensive lineman of the week this week, just so the way he performed. And, he's tough, he's physical, he's durable. He got hit pretty good on that one play, but, he's a kid that got to the sideline, checked everything out, everything's still in place, everything still feels good. He went right back there on the field that very next series. But, I'm very proud of him for stepping in and doing the things that he did in that game. And he really helped us, bring our offense along in that game, and it made some great blocks and was very, very solid and played very, very physical.
Fort Hays State gets the victory, 37-6 over Lindenwood. We'll talk a little more detail about Saturday's homecoming win when we return. Tiger Talk presented by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers and Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro. We're back with more right after this.
The year 1948, we said goodbye to the Babe. Truman upset Dewey, and KAYS AM signs on the air. Flash forward to 2016. This year we said goodbye to Prince. We find out if it will be Hillary or Trump, and KAYS FM signs on the air. 1400 AM KAYS, now also on 94.3 FM. It's Hayes' greatest hits. KAYS, sounding great since 1948.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk, presented by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers and by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, where you can start your day off right with a hot cup of coffee and breakfast from Mocha's, or try one of their signature sandwiches, paninis, salads, wraps for lunch, or your favorite drink throughout the day. And of course, don't forget the cheesecake, the scones, and more. There's something for every meal at Mocha's, 27th and Indian Trail in Hays. Tigers beat Lindenwood Saturday, 37-6, joined by Coach Chris Brown. And Both teams 3 and out to start that game. Then DeAndre James, second straight game, he's had an interception, set up that first touchdown. That was good to see.
That's huge, especially defensively. That really gives us some momentum, gives us some confidence in the things that we're doing defensively. And had a 3 and out, came back to the very next series and got a pick out of first or second play, and that's huge for us, giving our offense a short field. And if we don't score a touchdown, we always got Brandon Brown to get the field goal. So it was a chance for us to get points on the board, and we got the touchdown. That's exactly what we needed.
24-yard pass to Tyler Bacon got you inside the 5, and then Malik Thomas, the first of his 2 rushing touchdowns, took it in from 4 out. Seems like Jacob started to take more shots downfield, finding guys downfield a little bit more.
He is, just feeling more comfortable, and that's kind of how our progression was. Very first couple games is just short passes, getting comfortable, getting confident, and now that he's starting, we're going to expand the playbook with him a little bit more to hit those guys downfield. And our receivers are running better routes right now and getting off the one-on-one coverage, and they're not getting jammed as much. And he just find the spots now where our guys are going to be, and he started to really make his reads and where his reads should be. So we're going to open it up for him a little bit more each week and let him prove to us himself and his teammates that he can do those things. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to throw it downfield, and he's got the arm to do it.
Well, Lindenwood came back after the score, got into your Tiger field position, but then you forced them to punt, and then you put together an impressive 99-yard scoring drive. Second time this year you've had a 99-yard drive, although this one was aided by the big pass play to Charles Tigner, who was wide open.
Yeah, he was. There's a play they put in this week, and we kind of knew what they were going to do defensively, and he's got some pretty good speed. I think he's a little elusive. I mean, he's faster than what he looks, on the field, but he ran right by those guys, nobody around him, and Jake saw him and hit him. And there was a couple more times in that game we probably should have hit him again, and he would have been wide open and probably scored another couple of touchdowns. But proud of the way he played too. But 99 yards, I mean, that's hard to do. You hate it when those punts, you get backed up at your own end zone, and I think Aheem had a couple nice little runs in there just to kind of give us some breathing room as well. And Jake hit Tigner, and that was it after that.
14-0, but then that's when Lindenwood struck back, had the big play, which we talked about earlier, to get them to within 14-6. But thought it very important you answered. You get a good kick return from Shaq, a 44-yard return, and then a 9-play scoring drive, capped by another Malik Thomas touchdown. Right?
Yeah, that's huge. They come back and get it within another, one score, and our offense did a great job of going down, putting some more pressure on them, keeping them out of the rhythm, and not giving them the confidence and the momentum. We took it right back in that situation. But hats off to our offense for doing that.
Yeah.
We needed that situation, and they got it done.
Shaquille goes down, looked like a back injury. You mentioned Jacob kind of banging his knee, but came back. Brandon Gonzalez. Shaq did not return, saw him moving around on the sideline pretty good. What's his status?
He'll be back this week. I think it's just more back spasm than anything. Just need to get him stretched out, and then that's really it. Do some treatments on it, heat it up, get him loose. But he'll be ready to go this week. He was already up here yesterday saying he's practicing all week. He's ready to go. So just one of those things. Just kind of got hit wrong and twisted a little bit, and kind of tweaked himself. But he'll be back and ready to roll.
Another possession in there, you force a punt, and then Brandon Brown, a 45-yard field goal, third longest in the conference this year, and he maybe had one more yard to spare. That breeze kind of picked up a little bit. It was a kind of a tricky wind, but he had just enough leg to get that one through to give you the 24-6 halftime lead.
Yeah, he did, and we talked before the game like we always do, and it had to be on the 28-yard line. I was like, it's a little bit longer than that. Can you go get it? He goes, I got it, Coach, I got it. And he did. He's got a heck of a leg. He's got a strong leg, and he got underneath it just a little bit, which is good and what you want him to do, because a lot of times those guys get those long kicks. They just try to kick a line drive shot and they get blocked. But he's got the leg to do it, and I'm proud of that kid. He just needs to keep getting better each week and do the things that he does for us.
9 out of 10 so far, leads the MIAA in field goals. Tigers led at 24-6 at halftime. We'll talk about the second half when we return to Tiger Talk right after this.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, real country. 99 KZ Country.
We're back on Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, head football coach Chris Brown, presented by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. where they have right now celebrating a classic steakhouse favorite, the A1 Chop House Steak Burger. 2 sizzling patties topped with grilled onions, sauteed mushrooms, white cheddar cheese, and zesty A1 garlic sauce on a homemade style bun. Only at Freddy's Frozen and Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes. It's the taste that brings you back. Tigers had a 24-6 halftime lead Saturday over Lindenwood, and bit of a sluggish start in that third quarter, kind of like the start of the game. I think each team had 2 possessions in which they were unable to do anything with it, had to punt the football, and then you guys strike back with an 11-play, 70-yard scoring drive capped by a 20-yard TD pass to Lane Bieberly very late with under a minute to go in that third quarter.
Yeah, there was something we saw, offensively, that we were able to attack, their weak side. We just ran double slants and ran our back out of the backfield, and that corner would really come off. And then the guy would expand and just leave, that inside receiver open. And, we hit him a couple times on that. But that second time we got him, he was vertical. He saw the touchdown, and, he was going for it. And, Lane has really progressed to be a very, very good wide receiver for us. And he's only going to get better, week in and week out as we go along through this conference.
That's to like about him. I mean, he's got some height. And he's got the speed he's shown and good hands. And as he gets stronger, is going to be a big-time receiver for you. And kind of lost it. And he had a big 4th down catch. I think it was 4th and 40. Had a 10-yard reception to keep that what turned out to be a scoring drive alive.
Yeah, he is. And the good thing is he's just a freshman. He's still got 3 more years to go. And I've gone twice on the 4th down now. I can't believe that. It's usually not who I am.
2
but
for 2.
We've done it, and we're going to continue to do it if we're in that right situation. But Lane's a great player. He's just going to continue to get better as these years go on, and he's going to get stronger and he's going to get faster. And we want him to eventually be the guy. And he's starting to take that role over of wanting to be that guy. But he's excited to be out there. He wants to compete. He wants to battle. And that's just the way he practices too. He's a competitor in practice. He's going to compete on Saturday, too.
It's been fun to watch his development in his young career. Kind of then got on game management mode, just trying to run out the clock. He had the 30-6 lead, and then give Charles Tigner some time to run at running back. Of course, a lot of people may forget he actually came here as a running back, and now you just want to get him involved more because he's such a talent. Moved into wide receiver, and he showed what kind of running back he might be down the road if you have to move him back there. Big 57-yard run, and then eventually scored on the couple of plays later from 10 out.
Yeah, he is. On that run, he was so patient. You see Shaq and Malik, and they just want to hit things so hard and so fast, which is what we want to do as well. But he was patient enough to let the pulling guard come around, linebacker swiped across, guard kicked him out, and he saw the hole and he hit it. And he's got some speed. I wish he would have scored on that one, but he ended up scoring anyway in that drive. But the kid's a tremendous athlete. That's why we had to move him to receiver. He was. You got Shaq, you got Aheem, you got Malik, and you got Tigner sitting there at number 4. I mean, you got to get him on the field somehow, and the only way we could do that was wide receiver. And any chance we could put him at tailback, we're going to put him at tailback.
Well, it was fun to watch. And we'd be remiss not to mention Connor Harris for Lindenwood. He had 16 tackles and became the all-division NCAA tackle leader. I thought you did a pretty decent job. I mean, I thought a quiet 16 tackles, but then you look up. I mean, he's just such a force and the all-time tackle leader in all levels of Division I or NCAA football.
He is. He's hard to block. He studies the game very well. He understands what the opponent's trying to do to him, and he knows he's going to get double teamed and people will come block him. But he finds a way to get off those blocks. He finds ways to get to the ball, and he's just not a guy that plugs the hole. He's a sideline to sideline guy, and he can get in pass coverage and get deep. And he's a great player. And when Shaq went down, at that time towards the end zone, I had to go congratulate him on getting the record because that's phenomenal to see a kid do that. I'm very proud of that young man, and hopefully he gets his chance to play on at the next level because he deserves it.
Well, he's a great one, and glad we don't have to face him anymore this year. Tigers win it 37-6 over Lindenwood. They're now 4-1, and boy, gear up for a big one on Saturday. Carney Smith Stadium in Pittsburgh, Fort Hays State, Pittsburgh State, and we'll talk all about it when we return right after this.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Welcome back. It's our final segment here on Tiger Talk, presented by Mocha's Coffee, Bakery, and Bistro and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, where They're having the return of the Fall Classic, Freddy's Pumpkin Pie Concrete. Fresh, creamy frozen custard blended with a whole slice of rich pumpkin pie, crust and all, topped with whipped cream and sprinkled with cinnamon. Only at Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes. It is the taste that brings you back. Fort Hays State on the road for the next 2 weeks, starting this Saturday afternoon, Carney Smith Stadium in Pittsburgh. The Tigers and the Gorillas, both 4-1. And needless to say, a big football game. You beat them there 2 years ago, crazy 7-6 win. They beat you here in a controversial game last year. It's been pretty competitive the last couple of years, and it looks to be even more so maybe this Saturday.
It is. It's going to be a battle. They got John Roderick back, who's a tremendous quarterback, and he just brings a different element to the game. Their team plays a lot different when he's with them as well. Their energy's a lot different. They play a lot faster. They play more physical, and he's just a tremendous player, and we got to prepare ourselves this week and be ready for a battle. It's their homecoming. They're going to have a lot of people there. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy, and our guys just got to be up for the challenge. I know our guys can do it. I know we can perform at a high level, and if we play the way that we can play, I know we can win this ball game. But it's going to come down to our guys this week in practice and doing the things that they need to do to go win this ball game. But it's going to be a battle. We're going to have to fight for 4 quarters and see what happens.
It'll be a battle of strengths. They're averaging over about 41 points per game. They've scored 45 or more 3 times, including the last couple of games. You guys defensively haven't given up a lot of points, so kind of strength on strength there, at least in the initial look up in the matchup.
Yeah, it is. We're going to have to find a way to put some points on the board offensively, but defensively, it's one of those things that we can't give up the big play. We can't get lazy. They're going to try to dink and dunk and then try to get you with the big one. They're going to do reverses. They're going to do reverse passes. So, we got to stay at home and do our job and be sound and be great tacklers. And I know if we can do those games, hopefully we can limit their points. But offensively, we're going to have to go put some points on the board as well because they're going to get their points offensively.
Defensively, they've been very opportunistic. 4 defensive scores. They had another one against Washburn on Saturday. They've maybe given up a few more yards than they have in years past, but they're kind of ball hawks and find a way to become effectively, maybe become because of takeaways and scoring off of them.
Yeah, they do. They make a lot of different plays defensively. They bring a lot of pressure. They take some chances, and hopefully we can capitalize on those times when they take chances. But we just got to do a good job of, ball security, clock management, and and getting first downs and keeping the ball out of their offense's hands. And I think we can do those things. But we've got to know where their defenders are at to do a lot of roll coverages and some quarters. And they're very similar to us defensively. So our offense, I'll be pretty prepared for what they do. But they bring a lot more blitzes than we do defensively. So hopefully we can capitalize on that and beat them deep a few times to kind of loosen them up.
That was the key to your win there a couple of years ago. Great ball control and just kind of controlled the tempo of that football game, kept them off balance. I thought Jacob Mazzara, this was before the Central Missouri game, had an interesting comment about, even though he was a redshirt, he traveled on those trips. He was at Pittsburgh when you beat them there a couple of years ago, even though he didn't play and was standing on the sideline, and feels that is going to help him in that game with an environment of probably 10 or more thousand people in the stands. You think that does help him a little bit, just having at least been there and kind of experienced it even though he's on the sideline?
I think so. Just, being around the elements and things that are going on, because there's a lot of things that go on at Pitt. They got bands playing, they got people in the parking lots tailgating, the big scoreboard. The crowd is very, very loud, and we'll do some things this week in practice to get them used to that as well. If we have to go to the indoor facility and crank up the music to get used to the noise, we're going to do those things just to make sure that they're prepared when they get there. Now, defensively, you don't have to do those things as much. It's just a quick, simple little hand gesture, and you got your call and understand everything that's going on. But a little more offense, for offense, it's a little more communication, everybody understanding what we're doing. So, we're going to do what we can to prepare our guys to get ready for that atmosphere.
Should be a lot of fun. I know a lot of folks looking forward to it. Fort Hays State, Pittsburgh State on Saturday, and we can't wait. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Have a great week of practice, and we'll see you in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Gerard. I just want to say thanks to our crowd.
Yeah.
Our fans were awesome this week. Probably one of the biggest crowds that I've had since I've been here at Fort Hays State University, but just want to thank them for for their support and just, you know, continue to support us and keep coming to the games because our kids really, really appreciate it. But thank you so much, and thanks, Gerard, for all you do.
Bet probably next to the Pittsburgh State game last year, probably was one of the biggest crowds and a great student crowd as well. And we appreciate that and hope to keep it going throughout the year. Fort Hays State, Pittsburgh State coming up Saturday afternoon, Carney Smith Stadium. It's a 2 o'clock kick. You can, of course, catch it on Tiger Radio Mix 103, 1 o'clock with the Auto World pregame show. Hey, if you missed any portion of the program tonight, you can always catch it online, HaysPost.com. And don't forget about the video replay. You can watch Tiger Talk on Eagle Cable's Channel 14 and 614 Tuesday and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. So check that out as well. The program brought to you by the Hayes Mid Orthopedic Institute, the Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, BTI, Horizon Appliance and Electronics, and of course our title sponsors, Mocha's Coffee, Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail in Hayes, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine in Hayes. It's the taste that brings you back. For head coach Chris Brown, this is Gerard Walbrock. So long, everyone.
We get it. You work hard and play hard. Internet should be the last thing slowing you down. Eagle Communications gives you the speed you need so you can play hard and save cash. For a limited time, get 30 meg for $30 or 50 meg for $50 so you could work, play, and save. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.